Hello everyone and welcome to WR Davies Toyota and to this, the all-new Toyota CHR.
In this video I'm going to show you around the exterior of the car and we're going to do a quick comparison between the 2024 model and the outgoing 2023 model. We'll then take a look through the interior and look at just how practical it is, and I'll cover off some of the technology available before we take it out for a quick spin to discuss its performance and economy and see how it fares out on the road.
So as you'll see, we've got two Toyota GR models here. So they're both identical trim levels, but this one is the older outgoing model and this is the newer one. They're both currently featured in ceramic grey as well. So let's do some quick comparisons about how they both differ. What you'll notice at the front end of this one, we've got a much more angular, much more futuristic, aggressive styling front end. Got those swooping C-shaped headlights, all LED, that big aggressive front grille. We've also got 20-inch diamond cut alloy wheels on this particular model. And when we look over at the outgoing model, we still have LED headlights, but they're a much softer design. We've got a much softer front end, much more curves and circular shapes and stuff to this one. You still get that aggressive body kit on this particular model because it is the GR Sport we're comparing here, but I think you'll agree they both look terrific. When you take a look along the sides of the vehicles, what you'll notice is the new version is much more angular. Again, we've got that sharp shoulder line that breaks off into this Y shape at the front. Then we've got these new door handles which are flush, which is a new thing for the new model. Then when you take a look at the older outgoing version, things soften up again, much like at the front end. You've got much softer lines along the side of it, swooping shapes rather than sharp angular points. It's a much softer looking car. Now when you step around the back of the car, those same styling themes across both cars continue as you'd expect. So on the new one, it's much more sharp, much more angular. We've got this long sweeping light bar all the way along the back of the car, and you'll find the model designation just hidden inside there. So when the car turns on, that all illuminates and looks amazing. Got this nice sharp lip to the boot edge, nice angular kind of rear valance, all this honeycomb design which fits in nicely with what we've got on the front grille as well, that honeycomb, that big mouth honeycomb grille. Got this long swooping rear window and this two-prong spoiler, which you'll find on other models such as the Toyota BZ4X. When you compare this to the outgoing model, you'll find the car is actually slightly shorter in height. The roofline sits a little bit lower on the outgoing model. And you'll see that softness to the shoulder lines and stuff that I've talked about. See this big swooping line up here, it doesn't break off into a Y shape as much, it's much softer, much more curved to it. Same with the tail lights, there's much more curvature and stuff within the tail lights. And you've also got this top door handle on the old model. That's been replaced on the newer version with those flush door handles I talked about. So I think you'll agree that both of these cars, especially in the GR Sport trim level, they both look terrific. But when we step inside the car, you'll see how the interior has also been modernised. So let's take a look inside. So step inside the new CHR and you get that sleek modern design on the inside as well. So what you'll notice is this kind of swooping design all the way down here through the doors. Got some nice Alcantara fabric in this particular model. I love these air vents, very futuristic air vents, really nice design on those. The steering wheel, because it's a GR Sport, it's lovely contact points, feels quite sporty in your hands. I like the perforated leather on this one and the little GR designation here. All the controls you can think of at your fingertips, so all that kind of cruise control settings, your volume, your calls for your phone, everything's all just easy reach as you'd expect. I love the new center console. This massive TFT touchscreen infotainment system is wonderful to look at. It takes up a nice amount of space at the top of the dash, but what I do like about Toyotas is they haven't hidden all of your climate control systems and your heated seats and all that within there, making it quite dangerous actually. Bit of a faff to find everything. Everything's nice and easy to see just down here on the center console. Practicality wise, two big cup holders, got a wireless charging pad just down there, nice large door bins, got this little kind of tray just at the top here, nice little area to keep a few bits and bobs. You can put your phone up there. Talking of phones, charging points, there's a USB-C point down the bottom there. What have we got in the armrest? Yeah, we've got a USB-C charging point in here, your normal 12-volt plug as well, nice little tray to keep some coins in. So practicality wise, you're pretty much set inside the front of this, as you'd expect with a Toyota really. They've thought of everything. One thing we can talk about with the interior of this car is how it has been updated significantly from the outgoing model. So what you'll also notice is you get this nice TFT driver's display just up here at the front as well. So this is all TFT. They've done away with the analog clocks that you found in the old model. The dash as well, this whole center console has been redesigned and remodeled. It gives this kind of like driver focused design to it. Everything's angled towards the driver. It feels really well, fighter piloty, if I do say so myself. It feels all, directed at me to enjoy my drive and enjoy my time in the driver's seat. If we have a look at the back as well, let's take a quick sit in there, shall we?
When you step into the rear of the car, you'll notice that quality and fit and finish continues into the rear. You've got cup holders in the door cards, there's a USB-C charging point, and there's ISOFIX as standard as you'd expect. Finally, the boot capacity of the CHR with the rear seats up is between 310 litres if you go for the plug-in hybrid or 388 litres if you get yourself the self-charging. And I feel that's very good for a car with this coupe styling, and I believe it's almost 20 litres more than the outgoing model. As you'd expect, you can increase that load capacity by simply throwing the rear seats down. It's worth mentioning that there is a bit of a load lip on this boot, but there's also a small compartment under the floor for storage. Now, there are currently 5 trim levels available for your CHR, and prices start from £31,290 for the Icon, and that climbs to £42,720 for the Premium Edition. You get a lot of modern kit as standard with the Icon. You'll get yourself 17-inch alloy wheels and a plethora of safety features, including Toyota's intuitive pre-collision system, where the car will use its various cameras to scan the road ahead for hazards and warn you of them. LED headlights and taillights are also standard, as is the Toyota Smart Connect, with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, all controlled through the 8-inch multimedia system. As you step up through the trim levels, you'll see the wheel size increases, with options for 18, 19 and even 20-inch depending on the spec. You'll also notice the infotainment screen size climbs from 8-inch to 12.3 inch, and you gain additional speakers with a more premium sound system thanks to JBL with some of the top-end models. Not only that, but you'll also see driver aids such as front parking sensors and brake assist, 360 panoramic view monitors, and cornering lights.
So let's talk technology. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Toyota as a manufacturer is the fact that they include so much kit that many other manufacturers might actually charge you more for. So for example, across the entire lineup of the Toyota CHR, no matter what trim level or spec you choose, you're going to get radar adaptive cruise control. So this is cruise control, but it uses the sensors in the front of the vehicle to keep you a safe distance from the car in front at all times. You'll also get lane keep assist to stop you drifting between the lanes, so it'll keep the car nicely planted in the middle of the lanes. You'll also get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard, meaning your infotainment system is bang up to date.
You can also option your CHR to have a proper heads-up display to help keep your eyes on the road. And on some models, you can even have the rearview mirror double up as a monitor. This gives you the option to switch between a standard glass rearview mirror, or at the push of a button, it changes to a monitor showing a view from the rearview camera. This is handy if you're parking in tricky spots, or the view out the rear window is obstructed by a rear seat passenger.
Now, while there are currently 5 trim levels to choose your CHR in, there are 3 engines to pick from. And as you've come to expect with Toyotas, each and every one of those engines offers some form of hybrid technology, and they're all mated to the same automatic gearbox.
First of all, there's the 1.8 litre petrol self-charging hybrid. This engine produces 140 brake horsepower and has a claimed WLTP cycle of 57.6 miles per gallon combined. 0 to 62 is delivered in 10.2 seconds. The second option in the range is the 2 litre petrol self-charging hybrid. This produces 197 brake horsepower and a claimed identical fuel economy of 57.6 combined. You'll benefit from a new 0 to 62 sprint of just 8.1 seconds. And finally, there's the range-stopping 2 litre petrol plug-in hybrid. This takes power to 223 brake horsepower and gives the driver an electric range of 41 miles before needing to use the petrol motors at all. And according to the WLTP test figures I've read, if this car is used with the electric motors and in conjunction with the petrol units, a claimed MPG will jump to a staggering 313.8 miles per gallon.
Okay, so what's the car like to drive? Well, I found a nice stretch of country lane, and so far, so good. I'm very impressed with the way it handles. The suspension isn't overly firm, despite this being the GR Sport version with the 20-inch wheels. I was expecting it to be quite crashy, but it really isn't. It's actually very, very compliant. Tech-wise, as I've mentioned, there's an abundance of it. This particular car has got the heads-up display, which I find very useful. It means you can keep your eyes on the road ahead of you at all times. The new infotainment dash, this new screen, this new kind of set of clocks and stuff, you can customise all this. You can change the colours and stuff, and I've also discovered, to my pleasure, the car has a variety of driver's modes. So you can switch it down into eco mode, which, it does what it says on the tin. Normal will be a nice balance of the two. Then you've got sport and you've got custom, so you can actually tailor it to how you want. So you can set the suspension and stuff to make it a bit more compliant, but make sure that the engine's working at optimum performance if that was what you were looking for. There's also a handy EV mode button down here, which means that you can press that, switches the car to pure electric. Then down on the dash out, it'll tell you your electric range. I like the fact that these dashes as well, on the left hand side, instead of a rev counter, you have like a charging clock, so it'll tell you when the car's charging. So like when you're coasting along like I am right now, charging starts going up. The second you start applying the brake, that charging spikes, so you know it's charging the battery nicely there. And then when you're driving along at more sedate speeds, it'll go into eco, and then you've got full power at the top if you want to do that. And then when you press the button again, it switches back to combined, full electric and hybrid. Visibility in the car is absolutely fantastic. Despite having that kind of really slim, sloping rear window, when you actually look back through the rear view mirror is positioned perfectly to actually have full view out of that window. So there's no qualms with visibility out the rear. And then, as with the BZ4X that I recently reviewed, the A-pillars are nice and thin, and you've got this lovely little bit of glass down here at the front, which will allow you to see out, and it doesn't block that low level view when trying to park. Back to the tech, we've also got blind spot recognition. I've mentioned the cruise control, the lane assist, all that sort of stuff. That's all available here at your hands. As for performance, this particular car is fitted with the 1.8 litre turbocharged unit. It's a self-charging hybrid. It produces 140 brake horsepower. And whilst it will see 0 to 60 off in 10.2 seconds, that might seem like a long time. It is still no slouch though. It does everything it needs to do for day-to-day use. We're currently trundling along at 50 miles an hour, and if I put my foot down, kicks down again nicely, and there we are already at 60. So for day-to-day use, it's very good. It'll do exactly what you need it to do. There are various other options, as I've already discussed. There are ones with a bit more performance and stuff, but when it comes to economy, I think this is probably the best one to pick, as the WLTP cycle on this is rated at 57.6, I think it was. So it's definitely the most economical, the most frugal of the lineup. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. That's everything about the new Toyota CHR. If you want to find out more about this car or to book a test drive, please do reach out to the team using the contact details in the description below. They're more than happy to answer any questions or get you guys booked in for a test drive. So yeah, thank you very much again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.